All right. Welcome to the Let Me Know podcast. We're doing another remote episode. Today, we're going to give you a reaction of the Mexico versus South Africa opening World Cup game. Let's get right into it. All right, bros. So the first question for you guys as we start, I think, every reaction video, what are your general thoughts on the game? Was Mexico a little bit better, worse, or as you expected opening the World Cup?
In lapses, they were better. The other lapses, they just, like towards the end of the first half, it just didn't seem like they really wanted to go for that killer
kill.
strike. Because the first 10 minutes, I feel like they were kind of measuring them a little bit. In totality of the whole game, I think that they could have done more. Honestly, I think after just seeing everything, the red cards, Montes, the red card too, but even before that, I thought they could have just done way more.
For sure, worse. They didn't feel like a sense of urgency.
Yeah.
I think their gameplay was slow. They didn't connect well with the midfield to try to progress the play. If I had to give it a score out of 10, I think I would say like a 6.5. I mean, at the end of the day, 2-0 win.
And that was my takeaway. That was literally what I was going to say. Like at the end of it, they got the result. At the end of it, that's what mattered. I will say they were slow for sure. They weren't going for the kill. I love that both of you guys have said this right now. I've been telling you guys both. I want to not let myself be too optimistic going in this World Cup with Mexico right now, because I know that they've dropped the ball before. I know this, but going into a World Cup, we're always going in with this intensity, fucking Mexico, si se puede. And they proved that to me today. Yeah, dude, just like you were hesitant to really just bet on them all the way, you were right. You were right to think this. At least that's kind of how I took it. You know what I mean? And I don't mean to be negative, because they did look good in moments, just like Papino said. They definitely looked good in the first 15 minutes. After the hydration break, I felt like they kind of took their foot off the gas. But like you said, Solomon, they kind of didn't need to go forward, because it wasn't like South Africa was threatening them too crazily either. You know what I mean? But that is my general takeaway. Now, let me ask both of you, and Solomon, we can start with you here. What did you like the most, and what concerns might you have, if any? And it sounds like you might have some.
When they were going forward, when they were trying to go forward, they looked good, but they didn't do that too much. So it was kind of off.
Defensively, we were very solid. The last game against Serbia and this game, I don't feel too good about our defense, especially because this is just South Africa. I mean, I can't wait. I can't even think what's going to happen against Korea and even Czechia, because they have height and they're quick for their height, So that worries me. The way that Montes got taken on, or he was out of place. I know Mexico lost the ball in that moment, and then you were just stuck. You were out of place. You're out of position. That worries me. So it's kind of reversed for me a little bit. Now I actually like their offense. I think they'll get better, but the defense, again, Serbia, and then today, I don't know, just a little shaky. And this South Africa, one of the worst teams in the whole World Cup. Out of all 48 teams, one of the worst teams. That play was a smart play. You're going to get the red, you stop them. But that's what you do against Belgium, England, you know what I mean? Not South Africa, bro.
And now not having Cesar Montes might make a difference. I will say that he was losing the ball a lot at some point, or at least he's hitting the ball to nobody. I don't know if you guys saw that. A lot of long balls that just ended up as turnovers. However, at least he wasn't losing the ball in his 18 where he's busting a Ricardo Osorio and getting scored on and shit, So I'll give him that. But just having his presence alone is something. Now, I think the obvious thing is going to be, hey, put Edson Alvarez in, but we'll get to that. A couple concerns I have is if you're going to play like this, slow, not going for the kill, I don't know if you're going to be able to beat South Korea, Czech Republic, let alone the teams that come after, If they played France today and played like that, I don't think it would have gone as successfully. I think we were lucky that it was South Africa. Like you said, one of the weaker teams in the World Cup. I didn't expect for South Africa really to score on Mexico. And I also didn't expect Mexico to win 3-4-0 either. I do want to say this real quick. What I like, they got the result. What I'm concerned with is that they may not create as many chances against the next two teams as they had against South Africa. So they're going to have to be sharper, which if it's one chance they get, they're going to need to put that away. If it's three chances, they're going to need to at least put two of them away. You know what I mean? Because I don't think they're going to be creating 10, 11, 12 chances against Korea. This kind of leads me into the last question of this segment real quick is, how are you feeling about Mexico in the group stage after the first game? Just off of Mexico's performance, not off of the other game in our bracket that we'll talk about in a bit?
Just based on Mexico's performance against South Africa, I feel like we're gonna finish first place.
Oh, still, you still got that in mind?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I might not feel as strongly as I did before the game.
I'll take that. Salomon, how do you feel about Mexico after match day 1?
It doesn't leave me feeling confident at all, if I'm being honest. Like,
but are you?
I wanted a little bit more from them, and they should have gave me a little bit more.
Where do you feel they end up now?
No. I still think they're gonna get out of their group. Hope it's in first. I still think it's in first, but we'll see. We'll see.
Okay. Like I told you in the beginning, it just reassured me that, okay, Mexico's not fucking invincible going into this World Cup right now. I still feel confident. However, I feel like it is very possible that they tie the next 2 games, but they still come out on top. You know what I mean? But if Mexico is at their best and sharper than they were today, I think we win both those games. If I'm being, even if it's a 1-0, I think they can still win both of those games. It's all going to depend, though, on the changes that Aguirre makes, which is going to lead me into the second segment. I got to ask you guys, who stays on the field? So if you were Javier Aguirre and we're going into second game against South Korea, which players do you think earned another start? Which players impressed you the most? Let me just go through the starting lineup really quickly. So Tala Rangel in the goal, Cesar Montes, Johan Vasquez, the 2 center backs. Israel Reyes right back, Jesus Gallardo left back. Eric Lira as our defensive mid, Alvaro Fidalgo, Brian Gutierrez as our attacking mids, Julian Quiñones as our left wing, Piojo Alvarado as our right wing, Raul Jimenez as our starting striker. Okay, the subs, Luis Chavez, Berto Mora, Edson Alvarez, Ormia Gonzalez, Alexis Vega. These are our 5 subs. So now, considering this, who do you think gets another start?
It's going to be the same lineup, I think. Just the one who impressed me the most was Dylan.
Oh, he impressed you?
He just did exactly what he was supposed to do.
He did his job
perfectly. I didn't see a reason to like sub him out. If you were going to sub him out, it was going to be for a different player who was going to give you something different, which I don't know if that's what he wanted. And yeah, at the end of the day, he did not sub him out, and it worked out.
I saw Piojo Alvarado at moments kind of like either lose the ball or like get close to losing the ball, but the majority of the time, he at least was connecting a pass. At best, he got us an assist for Raul Jimenez, a fucking great centro that he put in there for Raul Jimenez's cabezazo. Yep. So I know a lot of people are kind of talking shit on him going into the World Cup, but he did his job, and I agree he's for sure getting another start going into this next game for sure.
Yeah.
The game that Eric Lira played today, he was 1A, 1B for me. He was probably at times the best player on the field, and that's a Liga MX player. You know what I mean? Right. I guess in South Africa, but still, bro, like the intensity of the game, the inaugural game, in front of 90,000 people, and the whole world's watching you, and he still does that. Because I saw some players just play very nervous, bro. They were playing to their level. So,
yeah, and we'll get to that right now.
Eric Lira, for sure. And the honorable mention is Piojo Alvarado. Not just the assist. The assist, I know he could do that. This guy was hustling, bro. He was hustling back. He was helping Israel Reyes. Like, there was times where he was all the way to the end line of like where Reyes would be, but they would do that overlap. So just his hustle. And I think that's why Aguirre has him there. Because if he wouldn't do that, and all he's doing is crossing, all he's doing is just waiting for the ball, like up at the offensive side of the field, like you need to come back, bro. And he was doing that. Right. He was coming back, and he was playing that position perfectly. Okay, here's the thing. I need Morita to start and play 90 minutes.
Here we go.
100 minutes.
100 minutes.
You fools take your pick. You either take Hidalgo out or you take Brian out. I don't care. I would prefer to take Brian out, but I know that's your boys. I know that's your boy, bro. You don't want to take him out ever. Fine, keep him in. I'll take out my boy out, Hidalgo, if you put Morita in. Morita, bro, when he walks, bro, he has to play. He has to play all game. So that would be my player to like plug in. No, this guy's he's magical, bro. This was magical. I don't know what it is.
No, for sure. Gilberto Mora, I think, needs to start the next game for sure. I wish he had a few more moments of this. Like, I wish he had more time to have shown this, which is why I think he needs to start. But there was a little play where he did like a quick little backheel pass and shit. I don't know if you remember. I can't remember who he gave it to, but it was like a good little moment of brilliance, of creativity that we didn't see. I think Alexis Vega came out with it and then they fouled him. But I was thinking to myself, like, fuck, we need to score on this play because that looks so good right there, dude. But yes, now I agree first with the Eric Lira one first because just like you said, he was at the pace of the game the whole time, almost setting the pace. I think he was the best presser today. He got an assist from pressing to Julian Quinones, who then scored. You know what I mean? So I thought that was very good to see. And then I also give my praise to Julian Quinones, Joe Alvarado, which was your honorable mention. Same thing, good. I will say I'm very happy for a few things though. First, Raul Jimenez got a goal opening the World Cup. Fucking love it right now. I love that he's on the score sheet. I hope he gets a goal every game. Lovely right now. If I'm not mistaken, I think he just tied Borghetti, or he might have just passed Borghetti for the leading.
I think he tied him, yeah.
I think he tied him. He might have surpassed him.
Yeah.
We'll look this up right now. But I think the leading goal scorer, the second leading goal scorer.
No way.
Raul Jimenez. Yeah. So Raul Jimenez, I think, just tied him. Might have surpassed him. I'll look this up right now. Borghetti, and now he's right behind Chicharito. But anyway, if he could get a couple more goals in this World Cup, boom, he played greatly. I also liked that Hormiga Gonzalez got to play, bros. I like that. I wish he would have gotten a goal. We were asking for him at the half. Like, dude, I think this would be a good game for him to play. But him playing tells me that in the second game when he takes off Raul, it's going to be for Santi. And in the third game when he takes off Raul, it's going to be for Memote. So I think he's going to give everybody a quick rotation. I don't think he put Hormiga in today because he's like, oh, he's my second striker. I think he was just like, all right, Raul is my first striker no matter what. Each of these guys will get a turn. And then we'll see going into the knockout round who really proved themselves, you know? Honorable mentions for me, two of them. Isaiah Reyes, I thought did good. I hope he showed Aguirre enough for him to say, okay, I keep Isaiah Reyes in the next game. I hope so. I would put him in, especially because we know who's the secondary guy that would go in. But I would keep him in. Johan Vasquez is the other honorable mention because I thought he played solid. No mistakes. Didn't shine, but he also did his job. Just like we say about Pio Alvarado, I think he did his job, which is really good. You know? But now, let's get into who we didn't like and who you would consider making changes. I'll say the first one as a default. Cesar Montes is being switched for Edson Alvarez. I think that's like the for sure. Tell me a few others that you might consider taking off for changes.
I would say Brian Gutierrez. There's a few punctual plays, bro, where they were building out and the ball would bounce off his shin guard. It's like, dude, we're trying to go here, bro. It's just a simple 1, control, 2, pass. That's it. We're not asking you to take on 2-3 guys. You know, do a Zidane roulette. We're not
just to challenge you really quickly. That's how he plays, and the fact that he didn't play like that today threw me off. Whoa, you're missing a lot of this. However, that also happened to Fidalgo a bit, to Quiñones quite a bit. It happened to a lot of them. But I think that for Brian Gutierrez, for some reason, it showed more because we were expecting more out of him. At least for me.
I think he was the most nervous out of all 11 players on the field, starting players. I think he was the most nervous, bro. You could tell. If he's not nervous, he's playing way better than that. Or at least at his level. Fidalgo, he had that one play where it's like, bro, shoot it. Why are you trying to cross it between the player's legs? Trying to do a little a little nutmeg. Trying to cross it. Just shoot it. But those two players, check them out.
Let's say we take both of them off. Who are you putting in for them?
Chavez, Morita. I think the subs that came in, remember I told you, I was like, I think Aguirre likes Chavez, bro. Aguirre likes Chavez. It wasn't Orbelin, which I thought Orbelin had that over him. But no, it's Chavez. It's Chavez and Morita. That's what I'm saying. If you're gonna put one in, I'd rather have Morita over Chavez, and then take either Fidalgo or Brian out. At this point, they both played equally as not as good, bro. They didn't play to their level. I'm gonna say that.
Salomon, players that you would be switching off right now.
The only one that comes to mind is just Tierres for Gil Mora. And I would put Gil Mora where Piojo is, and then drop Piojo a little bit.
I see.
Yeah, because if you saw in some moments of the game, Brian was the one that was up there pressing.
Right.
You know? And then Piojo was covering his position.
Right.
You know? Which I think Piojo could do, it wouldn't be for all the game. They could interchange him and Mora, but I feel having Mora there, it will give you it will give you a different dimension to the game.
100%.
For sure.
And that's me just saying that because again, what Juanito said, Brian didn't give us that game that we usually see from him. But if you're gonna start, if you're gonna keep him there and he's gonna start, he has to give us that.
So I'm gonna agree with both of you guys, and I'm only saying this because when I was watching the game, I thought literally like, and we said this a little while ago, like right about the hydration break, I was like, dude, what's happening? Like they're not connecting as well as they usually do. They had spurts of it, but then I started to think like, fuck, I think it's the midfield. I think it's just the midfield who isn't getting it together. They're not being that connector, that bridge. And then to make the two changes where you go Luis Chavez and Gilberto Mora, that actually makes sense. And I do think that Javier is going to do that going into this next game. Because I saw him a lot of times in the game, like fucking talking shit, like pissed and fucking, a lot of it was to the...
bro.
But I can see a lot of times it was like to the players. But Brian Gutierrez, I have to say this about him, bro. Even when he takes his foot off the gas, for some reason, he's still on the production end of things, bro. He's still, like, if there's a shot that happened, he was a part of it. Maybe he started it, maybe ended it, but he was a part of it. Now, the one that pissed me off and where Aguirre was like really pissed was where he got in the 18 and it was just like him, kind of two defenders in front of him, kind of a tough angle, but he just toe pokes it and shanks it. Like, no, and you can see how
that was the last play of the first half.
Yes,
that was the last play of the first half, and that's what I checked you, fools. I'm not gonna say it, but you see it. And like, bro, any one of us right now, at least take a good shot, bro. At goal.
I'm scoring that right
now, bro. What?
Easy.
Right.
I'm scoring that. Like, no, look, this isn't about building anybody anymore. This isn't about giving people chances and just see what he could do. This is what we were preparing for. So Brian Gutierrez has to come off, bro. He had his yellow early, and then he wasn't playing good. Easy reason to just Gilberto Mora come in for this guy. You know what I mean? So I have to say that. The thing about Fidalgo is sometimes I feel like he becomes blended into the game, and you don't even really see anything spectacular out of him. That was my only worry of him as he was coming into the selección, and I kind of saw that today. Just blended into the game, nothing extra. Like, it was a little tougher. I want to talk about one more guy, though, real quick, that we're not mentioning. Two guys. First, I want to say about Jesus Gallardo. Wasn't impressed by him today. He didn't show too much. I feel like that is a change that I would make, not to start, but in the second half of the Korea game, I'm putting in Mateo Chavez for him. You know what I mean? I would have done that today, but I also think all the changes he made up top was like necessary. You know what I mean? But Jesus Gallardo, I think, should get subbed out next game for Mateo Chavez. I didn't like how Gallardo played. How do you guys feel about Gallardo?
I thought that he played sick. It wasn't his best game for sure.
He didn't suck either.
Yeah, there was a few times where there was a few times where I was expecting him to pass the ball like he does with Toluca, like those crosses. I think he got like a couple in there, but like one of them he just kind of like really grows. He had a shot and it just like that truck that just went all like dumb. Like, what? You don't do that with Toluca, bro. What are you doing? Like,
I know.
You're like in that small circle of captains, bro. Like, what's going on right now? So. Yeah, I could see Mateo Chavez coming in, but not yet, bro. Not yet. Maybe I would give Gallardo one more game. I think he has enough credit to play another 90 minutes. If he gives another 90 minutes like this, now I'm starting to doubt him. Now I'm starting to think I'm looking at Mateo Chavez now for sure.
The only reason I said Mateo Chavez like that, like literally at minute 65, 70, is because he is going to come with some hunger, with some like, all right, let me do something real quick. And sure, that could cost him, but it's also going to be the way that we get a goal, the way that he showcases himself and shit, you know? He's got something to prove, so I feel like he'll do well. But no, I could see that. Another 90 minutes for Gallardo, all right. But if he plays like this, I'm going to call for a sub, you know, for the third game for sure. What do you think, Salomon?
If anything, I think he played how he plays, how he usually plays. I want to sub him out. I just think the way, I mean, we've seen him go forward a lot and have those crosses and have those passes. He didn't do a lot of that. And I think that's why we're saying what we're saying. But at the end of the day, I think I'd still have him.
I wasn't calling to take him off. I'm just saying sub him out at some point. But nah, fair from you guys. I got to ask you about one more guy, though. How do you think Sara Rangel did?
Nervous. He was a little bit nervous.
He was one of the nervous guys, for sure.
He was. The nerves hit him a little bit. I think it showed. It was a good performance. Nothing great. Nothing spectacular. Just what he had to do. He did it. He got the job done.
Yeah, the play in like the beginning, like the first 10 minutes, where they just put the ball in the box and he goes to catch it and it looked like he was gonna get it, and then boom, he kind of bobbles it like.
And then boom, he just bobbles it. Yeah.
Well,
He
that
sits
was
it off.
probably like the biggest thing that you can even really point out. I thought like
Yeah.
when he had to get his hands on the ball, he did it good.
I don't know if he kind of saw like Vasquez was gonna get it, or I think in his mind he stuttered. I think he kind of went for it, stopped, and then went for it. So he didn't, because he kind of like doubted. So that little doubt, even if it's just a half a second doubt, you're not getting your full hop. You know, you're not getting your full like plunge, like you know what I mean, spurt.
Right.
So I think that's what happened to him. And then he got caught in the air. So he just kind of like catch it or punch it. Like it was neither.
Right.
It was a doubt. He started off with that. It's like Brian Gutierrez. Pass, shoot, didn't do either.
It was also tough that the striker was like challenging him, you know, and so it puts a little bit of nerves on him, a little bit of pressure, like shit. And then when he kind of dropped it, I was like, no, Tala, you idiot. But like everything else he did fine. With his feet, he did it right. He did good.
I just think that like that play happened early, and I wanted to see how he did once they gave him the ball. Because you know, like when the goalie makes a mistake and it actually goes into the scorecard, you know, like it's actually like a goalie's mistake. Now you're down, 1-0 or whatever.
Right.
And then you want to see how the goalie responds after that. Okay, it didn't go for a goal, right? It didn't hurt us like to that point, but every pass back that they gave to him, he looked solid. It was just always like with that extra ingredient of like, yeah, bro, but you just messed up right now. So I really want to see what you do. And he looked solid. He looked solid with the ball at his feet, bro. I think one of the commentators, like again, I was listening to the commentator was like, this goalie is better with his feet than Ochoa is. If Ochoa would have made that mistake and he has to play with his feet, that would have hurt us, I think. You know? Because like his feet is one of his strengths, he feels very comfortable even making that mistake with his hands. Even making that mistake, he's still comfortable with the ball at his feet. And I think that's a very good point, bro, because I don't think he'll lose that. You know?
No, for sure. And like you said, after a keeper makes the first mistake, the rest of the game is really going to show who he is as a man and who he is as a keeper. You know what I mean? Bro. I don't think that mistake was as big of a mistake for us to say, oh, he needed to make up for it. And I don't think that the performance that he put on was challenging enough for us to say, oh, yeah, he made up for it. Do you get what I'm saying? It was not too tough on either end. I thought it was okay. And I thought it was okay. He was okay.
Don't you see this sometimes where a goalie makes like one of those mistakes, and then that mistake builds to another mistake, and then 100%. Another one, and then all of a sudden you got the backup goalie warming up. You're like, oh, it's over, bro.
Fuck.
Over. You're coming off, bro. That's like 3 in a row. You're coming off.
I thought to myself, if Javier Aguirre was really a dick, is really a fucking like jerk like that, as soon as Rangel made that first mistake, he already had the keepers warming up. That would have been fucking crazy. That might have.
Oh yeah.
I think that's a great point to bring up, because people don't understand that part of it. You know, like that's the position I play still, and I always know to myself, like I know, and I've told my team this. I'm good for one mistake. I'm gonna make one fuck up, but depending on how I do on the second one will determine if I'll have a good game or not. You know what I mean? So like if I make a second mistake because I made the first mistake, probably gonna have a bad game. It's gonna be hard for me to get into it, you know. But if I make a good save, I'm like, oh, I'm in it, dude. Like chill, you know, calma. And I think
and that's what sucks for goalies, because you guys don't have that handicap, because players mess up on the field all the time, bro, all the time. You know, bad passes, messed up shots, all that. It's a mistake. It's still a mistake, but you're the last person in front of the goal, so that kind of, you know, magnifies it.
Tala Rangel held it together, did great, or did good. Yeah. You know, like I said, it's not as big of a challenge, but you're right. He didn't let it lead to a second mistake, third mistake. There were moments where I'm like, oh, Tala, that was really fucking close. But every time he came out okay connecting a pass, you know what I mean? So yeah, okay, I'll give him like a 6.9. You know, that's like the rating I would give him. 7 if you want to be nice about it, but that's kind of what I would rate that guy at. But Papino, I appreciate you jumping on. I know you're like on your way home from work. I know it's quite a drive for you. But I want to put some content to start discussing what we feel Mexico is going to be doing in this World Cup overall. just after this first game. We'll see how we feel after the second game or after the third game. But for you viewers, we very much appreciate you tuning in. Press that subscribe button. Give us a quick like. Predict the scoreline between Mexico and South Korea. Predict the scoreline between Mexico and the Czech Republic. And feel free to let me know what you think about Mexico after this first game. Let me know.
No.